With the ever changing landscape of abortion, Planned Parenthood is deploying mobile abortion clinics on the borders of abortion free states. How do we stay ahead of the opposition? I'll have an expert on the program today to discuss it. Also, I'll comment on the bombshell interview of pro abortion Congresswoman Cori Bush, who tells her story of how she was forced by abortion workers to abort her baby. Activist Radio, the Mark Harrington Show, is brought to you by Created Equal, and you can go to createdequal.org to donate. And friends, if you like the program, share the program. We're on all the popular podcasting platforms. And be sure to let other people know and leave a 5-star review. Well, today we're going to be talking about what do we do to stay ahead of the opposition, that is Planned Parenthood, on all the abortion industry in this ever-changing post-Roe world. And we're going to be specifically dealing with the concept of mobile ultrasound units. Last week, Planned Parenthood broke news that they are also deploying mobile clinics to kill babies, which was predicted. We could figure that was likely going to happen. They're going to be putting these on border states of abortion-free states like Illinois. They're going to be putting them on the border, say, of St. Louis, where it might be illegal in Missouri, in order to provide abortions for those who live in Missouri just to cross over and kill their children. So we were kind of ahead of the curve, but somebody who's been way ahead of the curve on this for years is my guest today, Eddie Perez, and he is the CEO and president of Vans for Life. Eddie, thanks for taking the time to be on the program.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
So, Eddie, we talked a while back, I think it was over a year ago, about this concept. I saw this coming. I think we all did, that we were hoping anyway that Roe v. Wade was going to be overturned. But long before this, the whole dynamic has changed with the overturning of Roe v. Wade. You saw the need to deploy mobile ultrasound units and move away, not entirely, of course, from the brick and mortar kind of way of that pregnancy resource centers have gone about trying to reach women considering abortion. Tell us about the transition that you made there.
Sure. So, um, when I took over the existing pregnancy center here in San Antonio, I knew, to me, I looked at the landscape and I saw that most pregnancy centers were not located near the abortion facilities. And I thought,
Right.
okay, well, that doesn't make sense because that's where the girls are. So
Right.
we put our brick and mortar right next door, or actually across the street from one of the abortion facilities in town, and we had a 1,000% increase in the girls that we saw.
Mm,
It was immediate
wow. Yeah.
because we're right there, right?
Right.
We signed a 3-year lease, and we were feeling pretty good about that. And then about a year later, the abortion facility moved. So I thought, well, we're in a 3-year lease. So what
Mm,
if this continues to happen? They'll just move because they have unlimited money. We don't.
right.
So I thought about seeing if there was any kind of mobile ultrasound unit because I had seen that they do, mobile pet grooming and all that other stuff. So maybe they had
Sure.
something like that. And I found an organization that provided that, and took us about a year, maybe a year and a half, and we got our van, and it was very successful. We put it in front of 2 of the 3 abortion facilities here in San Antonio, and over about a year and a half, we were able to directly save about 800 babies from being aborted.
Wow.
So we had great success with that. And then that abortion facility, because we had taken away so much of their business, they decided to close their doors permanently. And they had been doing 1,000 abortions a year, every year for about 20 years. So we felt really good about that. So
Well,
that's
you know,
kind of where
the
we
old
started.
adage in business, at least in the, retail business or in fast food or the restaurant business, is location, 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 right?
Right,
And I think you operated that way. If you have an abortion clinic, you ought to have a pregnancy resource center right next door because that's where
right,
the women are gonna come. Just
right,
like people go to have a burger, they're gonna find a McDonald's next to a Wendy's and a Burger King. I mean, it's the
right,
same basic business model that you employed there. But things have
right.
changed
Except our
so
burgers are
very
free.
much. What's that? Yeah,
I said, except our burgers are free.
your
So
burgers are free, that's right.
yeah,
Things have changed so much over the last several years because now with Roe versus Wade overturning, of course, everything's changing. But when women began to take the abortion pill more often, and now 50% of all abortions are done through a medical abortion, there's not necessarily a brick and mortar, abortion center now. We need to be more versatile, and that's what I like about this setup with the mobile ultrasound units. And also, and I'm not putting down pregnancy resource centers. Don't get me
yeah,
wrong here. I'm all in support and 100% behind them.
yeah.
But if you look at their numbers, they aren't seeing abortion-minded women at the numbers they really should. And it
Right,
has
right,
to do with location partly, right?
right. Our brick and mortar right now, we bought the building next door to the mega Planned Parenthood here, and right now we're seeing about 3,000 girls a year, which is by far in the top like 1% of all pregnancy centers in the country. And then we are leasing a building that we just recently remodeled next to another Planned Parenthood. So we expect to at least do, probably close to 1,500. So we're going to end up
Wow.
seeing about 4,500 girls a year. And when I started, there was about 6,000 abortions total in San Antonio. So now we're
Mhm.
at the 4,500 mark. So we are really, really making an impact to the abortion business revenue. So
So, friends, if you want to find out more, go to vansforlife.org. We are working with Eddie currently. We just purchased our first ultrasound van. It's not outfitted, it's just a shell. And we are going to be sending it down to Eddie to have it outfitted and set up and ready to go to return back to Ohio. But our plan is to put it on the border of, say, Illinois and Indiana, or Ohio and Michigan, or Ohio and Pennsylvania, wherever you have that dynamic where you might have an abortion free state and an abortion haven, that's where
right,
women are gonna be crossing the borders to have an abortion, and that's what Planned
correct.
Parenthood's doing too. So,
Yep,
if Planned Parenthood's doing it, even though I we all dislike Planned Parenthood, they are responding to the ever-changing landscape as well. If you would, Mr. Producer, I wanna play this. This is from National, Public Radio last week. Planned Parenthood, there was a big piece where Planned Parenthood's director was talking about this new mobile unit. If you would play that first clip.
Laboratory. Emelcy Rodriguez is president of Planned Parenthood of the St. Louis region and Southwest Missouri, and she says Illinois has become a hub for people seeking abortions from across the region.
We are all trying to work together to meet the exponential increase in the number of patients that are traveling from banned states to what we're calling haven states for abortion care. It's an all hands on deck moment.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. Planned Parenthood, because of the changing landscape, is seeing an increase in these abortion haven states of clients, customers, whatever you want to call them, seeking
right,
abortions,
right.
and they're
Yep,
setting up
exactly.
across from St. Louis in Illinois.
Right, right. And she says abortion care. I don't know what that
I
means.
know. I know. It's an
What's abortion
oxymoron, is
care?
what it is.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
total oxymoron.
Yeah, so I think that, yes, absolutely. So we follow the model of Planned Parenthood in their marketing schemes. So they
Mhm.
spend millions and millions on marketing. What colors should our signs be? How big should our door be? How right? So when we got our building next door to Planned Parenthood, we did the same colors on our signs, blue with gray with white. So we modeled
Mhm.
it after them because it's like they had asked me, well, what color signs do you want? I said the same as them, right? So same
Exactly.
concept. They're going to come out with the vans, And we knew beforehand that these vans were going to be necessary, but now it's really, really necessary if they're going to launch these vans. I mean, I'm kind of thinking about getting a mobile ultrasound plane pretty soon because I think Planned Parenthood at some point will have a
Who
plane where
knows?
they're flying to
Or
clients,
a
right? So,
boat. Who
yeah,
knows? They might do
exactly,
them on boats.
exactly. Yep.
Go ahead and play the second clip. Now, this talks about what these Planned Parenthood mobile units will be doing. Go ahead and play that clip.
Space, and there are limitations. Planned Parenthood plans to offer abortion pills by the end of the year and then first trimester surgical abortions next year. Dr. Colleen McNicholas, the medical director, says the patients who come to the mobile clinic will be given those pills as well as counseling about how to take them.
We do have some pretty frank discussions with folks about what the legal landscape of abortion access is in their state. And we provide information, to help them make informed decisions. We share with them what we think the best medical practice is, and then we leave it up to them to decide how.
Well, the thing that the news here, I think, Eddie, is not only are they going to be prescribing the abortion pill regimen in these vans, but they plan to do surgical abortions in these mobile units.
Hmm.
I don't know about you, but man, that just sickens me to death that they're going to be
Yeah.
mobile killing machines driving around. I mean, it sickens me with the pill abortions, of course, but they
Yeah.
are going to be killing unborn babies in these mobile butcher shops. It's crazy, but
Yeah.
this is what we're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, would you go to the doctor if in the next room they were killing somebody? I
Ugh,
mean,
it's awful.
I wonder if they're going to let the girl know, hey, by the way, when we do this ultrasound for you, just want to let you know there may be some crying and stuff in the next room because we're killing the baby there. But yeah, go ahead and get on the table. It's if they would just speak the truth, abortion wouldn't exist in this country. They
Yeah.
just are constantly lying about what they're doing.
Well, our plan is we'll just pull up right next to them.
That's right.
We'll
That's
pull
right.
our mobile ultrasound unit right behind them. We'll follow them around. We'll
Yeah.
go over where they go, and
Yeah.
you'll have the Planned Parenthood mobile unit here, and you'll have the Vans for Life mobile unit here. I mean,
Right.
I
That's
think
it.
it. I mean, why not? Right?
Yeah, and they're going to say, we can go out there and go, hey, look, you have to get an ultrasound anyways. It's about $400 over here, or we'll do it for free. Which is what makes more sense for you? So
Exactly.
once
Exactly.
they get on our van, there's a 90% some odd success rate that they will choose life. So it should be easy. You're right. We just follow them around wherever they're at.
All right, so one more clip. This is again
Sure.
from the National Public Radio. Planned Parenthood deploying mobile units to kill children on the Illinois-Missouri border. Go ahead and play that clip.
And Sarah, just quickly, back to that mobile unit, do you think we'll see more like the one from Planned Parenthood?
Well, this speaks to the ways that reproductive healthcare providers are innovating. This is the first mobile unit from Planned Parenthood that will provide abortions, but they say they may open more in the future. Another group is doing.
Let's leave it there. They're innovating. Well, we're innovating, right? And you've been
That's right.
innovating for a very long
Yeah.
time. Tell
Yeah.
us the success rate of the use of ultrasounds on women who are considering abortion, because I think
I,
that's really the
yeah.
key.
At the very, very low end, it's 80%, which is really, really good. So what we found on our van, out of the women that we saw, it was right at about 90 to 95%. So really, really, now the opposite is true. If they go into an abortion facility, 90% of them will choose to abort. So who's
Yeah,
going to get them first?
right.
We provide educate, and the thing is, like I said, we provide everything for free. There's
Right.
no expense to the girl. If she comes in and says, I have to have an abortion because my boyfriend is abusive and I don't have a place to stay. And we say, well, what if we find you a place to stay? Or they say,
Mhm.
I'm not going to be able to go to college if I have a child. And I say, well, there's actually scholarships you qualify for now that you're a mother. And so we're just informing them. We're finding out what's the crisis, what exactly is making them think that they have to have an abortion. And mothers naturally do not want to have an abortion. It's the circumstances surrounding them. So we just eliminate the crisis. Once we do that, it's pretty easy.
And I want to make clear to everybody, the primary purpose of these mobile units is at existing abortion centers. I mean, there's still plenty of those around, right? And there will
Right.
be, because
Right.
surgical abortion is not going away. pill mill abortion clinics or centers are not going away, but we are seeing more mail order and all of this. But it gives you that flexibility, right? That versatility that's necessary in a changing post-Roe environment. And it also relies heavily on trained sidewalk counselors. If you would speak to that as well, Eddie.
Yeah, I tell people if you don't have a sidewalk program, don't get the van, because when we didn't have anybody
Hmm.
on the sidewalk, we had exactly 0 ladies come on board. Because they're
Hmm.
laser focused. They're focused on the
Right.
abortion facility. You have to snap them out of it by saying, "Hey, we have free pregnancy tests, free ultrasounds. Our nurse is on board. We can get you on right now." And once we do that, then they'll come on board. So you have to have a strong sidewalk program.
Right. I mean, just
So,
having the van parked out front of Planned Parenthood is a good thing, but it's not going to get the job done, right? I mean,
right.
it's like that some of these groups have taken them on college campuses. That doesn't work either, does it? Not really.
Unless unless Planned Parenthood is going to go on with their van on
There you go.
college campuses. But to be
Right.
honest with you, I think neither one of us will have traffic if we do it that way, because a girl
Mhm.
isn't thinking about where to get an abortion until they're ready to get an abortion. So what
Right.
are the chances that a girl coming out of the college is going to go, "Oh man, I forgot I have to go get an abortion. Oh my God, there's a van there. I'll just go there."
Right.
It doesn't
Right.
happen. So I think they're
That's
going to
right.
be very, very unsuccessful. But we have to be there anyways. And then when they see that they are unsuccessful, then we'll just park that van in front of the nearest abortion facility.
So, Eddie, I want to wrap this up. I mean, if you would
Sure.
speak to our listeners, our viewers here, who are hearing this and thinking, I want to do this. I mean, we're
Mhm.
doing it here at Created Equal. There are
Yeah.
other groups around the country that are lining up with you to get these ultrasound vans, mobile units deployed in their city. Tell
Hmm.
them, a lot of people think it's out of reach. I don't think so. Tell them how
Yeah.
they can get it done.
Send me an email.
Okay.
That's about it.
All right.
I'll talk to you and we'll figure it out, because
Right.
there's plenty of money, but there's not a lot
Agreed.
of people who are willing to do it.
That's right.
There's money out there. You just have to, are you willing to do it? So unfortunately, there's a lot of people in the pro-life movement who are like, man, I just don't have the money. And it's like, well, here's the money. And they go, yeah, I still can't do it. Well, look, you have to make that decision. If money
Right.
wasn't an object, would you do it? And if the answer is yes, send me an email. We'll figure it
Well,
out.
our view has been if you build it, they will come. I mean,
Right.
because I think if you build it, because it's needed, right? We all know the need is there. It takes someone with a vision to cast the vision, to raise the money and build a system, and then people will come. And the reason they'll come is because it's effective
Right.
in saving lives, and we all want to be part of
That's
that.
right. Yes, absolutely. And just keep in mind, you mentioned earlier the pregnancy centers are necessary. I call the vans kind of like the emergency room. So we get the girl off the ledge. But then we can't just say, okay, congratulations, you're gonna have a baby. Good luck with everything. We have to be able
Mhm.
to provide that support afterwards, which we do up to three
Right.
years after the child is born. But that's where the pregnancy center comes in. They provide the material assistance and the
There you
counseling and
go.
ongoing counseling and so forth. So yeah, these
But you
vans
work
are
with the pregnancy resource centers. That's right. That's right.
or we are the pregnancy center, one or the other. Yeah,
Right. My guest has been Eddie Perez, and he is the CEO and president of Vans for Life. And friends, you can find out more by going to vansforlife.org. And if you want to donate directly to our project of trying to deploy these mobile ultrasound units, I call them rescue units, whatever you want to call them, you can help us out by going to createdequal.org. Thanks for being on the show, Eddie. I appreciate it.
of course. Thank you.
So, friends, I want you to take action today, and here's how you can do it. First of all, you can donate to our mobile ultrasound unit. We have the van now, it hasn't been outfitted, and we have yet to purchase an ultrasound itself, and we need it to raise another $30,000. So you can support Created Equal by going to createdequal.org and just let us know it's going towards the ultrasound mobile unit to be deployed on border states where abortion is illegal. Also, if you would like your radio activist, that's me, to come and speak to your congregation or to your pro-life organization or any other type of venue, feel free to contact me at markharringtonshow.com. Now, finally, I want to get to this bombshell interview with Cori Bush, who's a representative in Congress who has now come out with this book, and she's on a book tour talking about it. And specifically, she's interviewed about a part of the book where she talks about her abortion experience. Go ahead and play that clip.
So I thought I was ready. And I went in and I went through all the steps because they were like, it's almost like an assembly line. You go from room to room. And I got into the last room. I was helped up onto the table by the nurse. And I laid there and I started to think, well, one, I didn't tell the father that was about to happen. I just felt like I needed more time. So I said, no, you know what? I'm not ready. Mm-hmm. And the nurse just, wouldn't listen to me. And I said, no, I'm not ready. And as I'm saying no, they continued to pull the instruments and, get everything ready. And it was just like, no, calm down. No, you're going to be okay.
So you were telling them that you didn't want to move forward.
Yes.
And they were ignoring you.
They absolutely ignored me.
There you go. This is really something, folks, and it's so telling of what happens every single day in America. We know that Cori Bush's story is not unique to her, although it's really impactful because she is pro-abortion. She's unashamedly pro-abortion, but she was so very honest about her abortion experience. And I think it's a lesson to all of us that this is what happens every single day in America. So that's number one. Number two is I'm certain that she's getting blowback from her Democrat colleagues who are pro-abortion, telling her that she shouldn't go public with this stuff. And I'm just thankful that she did. And we should be praying for her. She's post-abortive, obviously. She regrets having that abortion, and she needs the gospel of Jesus Christ. She needs the healing that only comes through Jesus. So we need to be praying that folks reach out to her and that she'll take the counsel and come to Christ and be forgiven for what she's done. The final thing on this, and I think this is really critical as well, I talk a lot on the program as to what I believe, and that is that not all, in fact, I think very few women are actually victims of abortion. I think most women know exactly what they're doing. They go in with their eyes wide open and they go and kill their child, and they know what they're doing. And I believe that the laws should reflect that we should not be exempting women from the abortion laws, the bans in certain states, and that we should leave prosecutors giving them discretion on how they're going about prosecuting their case. We should not say that all women are victims because not all are, but some are. And I think Cori Bush is one of those. She clearly did not want to have the abortion, and she said no. And for one reason or another, those who work in this abortion center basically went ahead and performed the abortion. Now, obviously, she didn't get up and walk out of the room, but they made her feel, if you watch the entire video, the interview, and also on The View, she clearly did not want to have this abortion. And I would put her in the category of someone who is a victim of the abortion industry. And then finally, and I think this goes well with our discussion with Eddie Perez about the vans and the mobile units. There were no sidewalk counselors that reached her that day that she had her abortion. There was no one on the sidewalk that we're aware of that was able to offer her an alternative to what she was about to do. All she heard was from the abortion workers themselves telling her that she needed to kill her baby. There was no pregnancy resource center there. She didn't visit one. And this speaks to why these mobile ultrasound units are so vital in this post-Roe America landscape. We can put these on the sidewalks in front of, or in parking spots in front of, brick and mortar abortion facilities in states where abortion is still legal. We can mobilize them to counter the Planned Parenthood effort to deploy mobile abortion clinics and kill children on the run. And so you can help out with that, friends. You can send us a donation by going to createdequal.org and click on the donate link on the right side, and you can support. We still need to raise about $30,000 to outfit the units. And then finally, you may be in a position to either get your own ultrasound unit if you're a head of a pregnancy resource center, or you know of one, or you work or volunteer for one, to lead an effort to get one of these units and deploy it in your own city or on the border of one of your states that might border an abortion-free state. So, folks, you can get involved. That's the reason I come to you every single week on Activist Radio, the Mark Harrington Show, is to get you in the battle. And this is one way you can support us by sending us a gift for our mobile ultrasound unit. We'll see you next time. God bless you. God bless America. And remember, America, to bless God.
You've been listening to Mark Harrington, your radio activist. For more information on how to make a difference for the cause of life, liberty, and justice, go to createdequal.org. To follow Mark, go to markharringtonshow.com. Be sure to tune in next time for your marching orders in the culture war.